Oh man!
Okay. Welcome back, everybody. Another week at the house. The sheetrock guys have come in last week and they started floating everything. It may look similar to the last time I showed you guys the progress on the house from whatever. We had taped everything, but trust me when I tell you that these guys are way better than I am. These walls feel amazing. Everything looks awesome, but he's still got to come back. I think put another coat of mud on the walls, and then he's going to sand everything down. Once he's done with that, they'll come in with the texture gun and spray everything. And then once that's done, we can paint. So in order to get ready to paint, we're going to need to get the water hooked up to the house. The city turned the water on at the meter outside, but there's no water coming to the house because the main line is not connected to the meter. Do I know how to hook up a meter? No. But it shouldn't be that hard. So let's go outside and see what we're working with and try to figure out how to put the water line on the meter. Let's get out there. Okay, I got the cover off, but as you can see, we got a bunch of water in here. So I'm going to have to try to get all this water out of here first before we start seeing what we're working with at the meter. Okay, a little bit of an update. I got the hole cleared out enough. And lo and behold, I just cut the pipe and hit this with the sledgehammer 1 or 2 times, and she's free. Huh. Never trust a plumber who's lazy. Let's get this piece out and get ready to put in this new piece of PVC. And after some grinding to cut out that old pipe, we got the old connection out of the meter. Now I just need to run to Lowe's and grab the fitting to go into there so I can attach the PVC to it. While I'm there, I'm also going to grab a couple drain caps for the main sewer line in the yard and 3 clean out chutes. Actually, probably not. I'm just going to grab the fitting for that so we can get water knocked off the list today and have running water out here, which would be great. So let's get to Lowe's. Okay, I got the stuff we need from Lowe's right here. And as you can see, the ground is really wet, so the hole keeps filling back up. The only issue is with that is that the glue I got sets very fast, but so 5-minute dry time, 30-minute cure time. So I think I'm gonna have to babysit this and keep this hole empty for that 30 minutes. It's gonna be super fun. But I found a shovel under the house. Granted, I think this is a kid's shovel, but I think it'll work. So I'm gonna dig back a little bit more to this pipe and hopefully make it deeper over here so the water runs down and out of our way while this sets up and cures. Let's set y'all up and figure out what's gonna happen. Okay, I got the hole cleared out enough to actually work and put my bucket in this little part right here and then be able to work over here where the meter makes a connection. So I got a fitting here. I wrapped it in Teflon. Now I'm going to screw this into the meter and start from there. Well, grab the wrong fitting. You can see here, this is just a cut piece of pipe. It's the same size. No bueno. Always test fit your pipes before you put on the fitting. That way you can return it. So I'm just gonna go buy another one. Be back in a minute. Okay, 3rd time's the charm. Went back to Lowe's again because after reading the instructions on the PVC cement, it asks you to turn it a 1/4 turn once you insert it into the fitting, and I'm unable to do that with the pipe already fastened. So I picked up a slip coupling and I've cut a little nipple to go into the fitting in the meter. I'm gonna glue this in, and then I'll put the coupling, I'll glue the other end of this and the other end of the pipe, and then we'll put that slip coupling on, and that'll be able to give us the 1/4 turn I need to make it work. Yeah, that didn't work. Going back to Lowe's, be back in a second. Okay, we're back. But we're gonna go about this a little bit different. Mainly because I knew nothing about glue and PVC. and whether or not if I glue it is correct or not. So I'm just going to use PEX pipe, which is this stuff, and it actually fits perfectly inside of that existing 3/4 inch PVC that's in the ground. So I'm just going to shove a bunch of this through that PVC, and when I get to this box, I'm actually going to pull this box out of the ground, but I'm going to cut the PVC out right here, and I'm going to dig up this, because this actually leads to PEX. I'm going to, once the PVC, I'm going to cut it back, run that PEX tubing through here, and put the new PEX shutoff valve in the middle of here, and we should be good to go. Let's get to pushing. Okay, we're going back now. I cut like a dream. I really hate my plumber. So we use two different types of PVC in the ground. One, he used standard drainage PVC, which is why the 3/4 slipped into the first 10 feet. The second half, from let's say about here to there, he used 3/4 CPVC, which, after Googling it, that's actually what you're supposed to use for water lines. I don't really think it matters. It just sucks that there's two different ones, and instead of being able to slip it down, we're gonna have to dig up a trench from the front of the house to the meter. And we may be able to get away with like halfway, but still a pretty substantial amount of digging. And all I've got is a kid's shovel right there. It's not made for that. I really don't want to run back to Lowe's, but I need a shovel. Let me make some calls. Okay, by the time I found my tools I needed to start on crimping in those faucets and water heater, Groove showed up with the shovel, and I started digging the trench. Actually went really well. The trench is dug down to the meter, and what we're going to do now is I'm going to take that PVC fitting off of that meter. We're going to Teflon tape the PEX fitting, screw that on, and we'll go ahead and crimp on the end of that PEX and start laying it in this trench. All right, now that the trench is filled back in enough, I'm gonna go ahead and trim the end of the PEX so we can tap in the shutoff valve, and then we'll tie in the house to the other side of the shutoff valve, and we'll be connected to the main. We can test it. All right. Alrighty. We got the main water line run to the shutoff, and we've got the shutoff tied into the house. I haven't buried anything, just want to make sure there's no leaks. We got a shutoff right there. A little bit muddy, but hey, it works. I'm gonna go run to Lowe's again, because I thought we had hose bibs here, but we don't. So I need to pick up 2 hose bibs. The one we have is super old, so I might as well replace it. And some extra footage of a 1/2 inch pipe. Maybe I can get that done today. Let's try. Okay, just got back from Lowe's. I've got the pipe we need for tomorrow to run the hose spigots on the side of the house. I'm not gonna do that right now. It's getting really cold, and it's getting pretty late too. It's about 4 o'clock. So I am gonna go ahead and pick up all the old plumbing that was under the house, get it in my truck so I can get it to a dumpster, and stop walking around all this stuff. So let's get you on a time lapse and start busting this out. That looks much better. I'm going to go ahead and lock up, and let's roll out and get this stuff unloaded. Good morning, guys. Back at the house. Got fresh, clean clothes, took a shower, slept. Let's get dirty. Oh man. Because it's freezing outside, I'm gonna do as much of this as I can inside. Slips on like that. Okay, now that I got the two hose pipe mounts finished from down the wall under the house, we need to measure how high up it goes under the house and then put the next connection in. Okay, we got the rough ends for the hose mounts done. These are obviously a little bit long. We're going to cut those under the house. Ran into an issue. I'm down to 3 half-inch crimps. Each of these T's needs 3 crimps, and there's going to be 3 additional T's under the house. One for this guy, and then to tie in the fridge box. So we need to have at least 9, and all I have is 3. So I'm going to run to the store, pick up more, and see you guys here in a minute. All right, guys, I'm back from Lowe's. I got everything we need for to finish up the hose spigots and tie in that water box. But before we start doing that and get super dirty under the house, I got a new pipe wrench. Let's see if we can get the old galvanized pipe off the water heater. Alright guys, pretty hard to film in there, but I'm gonna have to cut these with a grinder because my hacksaw is stored away. So that will be fun. Let's go get the grinder. That way we'll have some movement to pull these around. That was cool. Let's try to get this pipe loose now. Ow! Yes. I like smashing your finger when it's cold outside. Ugh. Let it go! Let it go! Okay, here's where we're at. We got the old fittings off. I got them cut out. And we've got the new fittings on. Cleaned the threads on the original. Tefloned them, and we put in these metal couplings. You gotta be 18 inches from there. So we got these in to extend away from the PEX. We got the PEX set up. I'm gonna go ahead and crimp these, and then we'll put the elbows down below to connect it into the system. Let's get these crimped. Okay, now that the hot water heater's tied in, I have no more excuses. It's time to go into the house and tie in the water box for the fridge and the 2 hose spigots for the sides of the house. After that, I think we can test it and turn the water on. See you guys here under the house. Okay, we got the exterior mounted. Again, this will be mounted on a block later on, so I can push it out enough to put some insulation all the way around and underneath. Mounted the other one here. It'll be a little easier to show you guys. On this side, there's a little more room to actually film under there. So I'm going to crawl into the house and get over to where we need to cut and tap it in. Yeah, it's disgusting over here. You can kind of see where it comes in kind of by my foot. This will be mounted up here once we get insulation on it. And then it'll tee off into the sink box here. So I'm going to crimp this, and then we'll run a connection from there to the sink over there. See my finger? Somewhere around there. I don't know if y'all can see me, but that is the last fitting that I had to make under the house. We've got everything connected into the system. All I need to do now is go out and Teflon tape the hose bibs, screw them on to those adapters outside that we mounted, and then charge the system up. So fingers crossed, let's see what happens. Okay, I got both hose bibs on. The far one at the back is open and this one's closed. So that one should be the only thing open in the system. Let's turn on this shut-off valve and see what happens. Oh man! That was intense. Apparently, the tub that was supposedly hooked up by RJ was not hooked up. So, we can't turn the water on yet. But I do have the water on to the shutoff valve. Everything's fine there. And everything else looked good. The only thing leaking was that back shower. Man! Well, that was fun. Yeah, on that note, leaving you on a cliffhanger. It's too late for me to pull that tub out and re-crimp all that stuff. So I'm just gonna go ahead and tackle that next week. But that's only like 4 or 5 crimps. So once that's done, this whole project has water. Man, I can't believe he didn't crimp those. I hate plumbers. Well, plumbers named RJ. If you're a plumber out there named RJ, that's not the RJ I'm talking about. I probably don't hate you, but there's a possibility. See you guys next week. Peace.